Imagine a bank where you feel at home. Real people living right here in your community are the heart of Bank Independent and everything we do. Bank Independent. We're invested in you.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather, live at 5.
It's a live look at the Arctic Air Skycam network as we head into the 5 o'clock hour on this Friday afternoon. And earlier it was a stormy afternoon for a large part of the Tennessee Valley, but we've broken out in the sunshine here late this afternoon with some dry air in the mid to upper levels behind that first round of thunderstorms. But the thunderstorm activity not necessarily over for the day just yet. Here's a look at Viper Live Doppler, and you can see most of the thunderstorm activity off to the east of our viewing area in the eastern Tennessee, northeast Alabama. We do have a little straggling thunderstorm into southwestern parts of Morgan County, not far from the Falkville area. That's not anywhere close to severe, but some occasional lightning and heavy rain. A few more thunder showers starting to develop on the east side of Memphis. It's this area back here in the western Tennessee we'll be watching over the next couple of hours for the potential for some redevelopment of thunderstorm activity that would be more spotty in nature, but if it does redevelop, a few of those storms could be strong to severe. Temperatures across a large part of the area got rain cooled into the 70s after earlier getting near 90 degrees, but we have seen some rebounding of the temperatures, especially west of Highway 43, back into the mid-80s here as the atmosphere has tried to recover. So there's still some instability to work with, even though we had the rain-cooled air from earlier this afternoon with the thunderstorms moving in. What we're watching is a little spin in the atmosphere here in southeastern Missouri. This is a remnant low pressure area generated by a thunderstorm complex from out of Kansas and Oklahoma overnight that has moved eastward and held together. And there is a tornado watch north of our viewing area into northwestern areas of Tennessee up into Kentucky. What we will be watching is the tail end of that disturbance over the next few hours to see if it develops a few scattered thunderstorms as it moves across this evening that may get into parts of our viewing area. It's an uncertain situation. Models are kind of back and forth on it because the lifting mechanisms are so subtle. And then we still have some rain-cooled air across parts of the area, but there is still that potential for redevelopment. The yellow shaded regions here on the map, these are the areas I would be watching most carefully for the possibility of evening thunderstorms redeveloping. I think it's through about 9 p.m. that we'll be watching, maybe to 10 o'clock, but I think by 9 or so, things will be wrapping up in terms of an evening severe storm threat. If any scattered storms are able to form in these areas this evening through about 9 p.m., there would be the potential for a couple of them being strong to severe with damaging winds, small hail, heavy rain, and cloud-to-ground lightning. And as we get into the evening, the wind shear increases a little bit, and there's going to be this leftover boundary laid across here from the afternoon storms that enhances wind shear a little bit. Should we get a thunderstorm to interact in that environment, there's a low but not zero chance of a stray tornado or two developing. It would be the small and lower end type of tornado, and it's only a low chance, but it's not a zero chance. So we'll be on guard watching the radar through the evening. But I think once we get past 9 or 10 o'clock, things settle down here for the overnight. And once you get down into North Alabama, I think, especially south of Highway 72, that evening potential stays off to the north of you, and you'll mainly be quiet. We'll watch just in case, but it's these pop-up evening thunderstorms that have the potential to redevelop through about 9 p.m. that we'll be watching carefully. 1 or 2 could be strong to severe, and then you see things settling down for the overnight, staying mainly into the upper 60s and lower 70s, partly to mostly cloudy to begin our Saturday. And then we'll be watching a thunderstorm complex around midday moving into the area on Saturday. That will have the potential for strong to severe thunderstorms with damaging straight line winds. We're starting to get the idea that the main focus of that may be North Mississippi and North Alabama versus southern Middle Tennessee. However, it's going to be so close that southern Middle Tennessee is in the risk, and correctly so, because it could waffle a little bit either way. There is a potential, however, that the main severe risk might try to stay south of the Tennessee state line for a Saturday. We'll watch that carefully and adjust the forecast as needed. Those thunderstorms shift southeast into central Alabama by the mid to late afternoon. We'll watch the overnight, the possibility of a few more thunderstorms developing, especially in North Alabama as the upper trough comes in. But because of the atmosphere being worked over, if anything does develop late Saturday night in the pre-dawn Sunday, I don't think it's going to be to severe levels, but maybe some 30 or 40 mile per hour winds and some lightning and some heavy rain. And then that shifts south of the area. And I think that's setting us up for most of our area to be quiet as we head into Sunday. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. For Saturday, there's still a level 2 out of 5 risk of severe storms across all of southern middle Tennessee and a large part of North Alabama. But notice here in our far southern areas of North Alabama, back into southern Tishomingo County, and then southward into central Alabama and central Mississippi, they have upgraded this to a level 3 out of 5 risk of severe weather. Not for an enhanced tornado threat or anything like that. This is where they think the best chance of a focused damaging wind threat will be. But if that thunderstorm complex trends a little more northward, they may have to pull this level 3 risk a little more northward. We'll know during the overnight and the morning hours of tomorrow based on where that thunderstorm complex develops to the west and how it tracks overnight. It's kind of a wait and see thing with these thunderstorm complexes because a large part of what they do is actually determined by the inner mechanics of them instead of the outside environment. So we'll be watching that carefully. But area-wide, there's that potential for damaging straight-line winds. It's just that the highest threat may be south of the Tennessee River in North Alabama, and it could even focus even farther south of there. But still, a stray tornado can't be ruled out with that thunderstorm complex Saturday midday and afternoon. Isolated small hail can't be ruled out either, but the main threats are damaging straight-line winds of 50 to 65 miles an hour, and the potential for some localized flash flooding across the area, but that's not a high threat either. And then maybe a few spotty thunder showers Sunday, but the bigger focus for rain will be to the south of the area. More showers and thunderstorms likely on Monday. Maybe a little more isolated on Tuesday. That's questionable at this point. I think the GFS overdoing things just a little bit, but the rain chances start coming back up as we hit Wednesday, Thursday into Friday of next week. We don't really get rid of this active weather pattern going into next weekend because the clouds and off and on rain chances around and upper level trough of low pressure in the eastern United States. We're back to low to mid 80s for daytime highs here the next 7 days versus being near 90 like we've been several days so far this week. So weather where you live for tonight, chance of a few more evening thunderstorms through about 9 or 10 p.m. If they can redevelop, there could still be a few more strong to severe storms. So we'll be watching carefully. Overnight lows upper 60s, lower 70s. And then for your Saturday, midday and the afternoon, showers and thunderstorms likely with a thunderstorm complex. Some of those strong to severe with damaging straight line winds, but a few thunderstorms can't be ruled out in the morning hours, but I think the prime activity waits until midday and afternoon. Daytime highs into the lower part of the 80s. A few thunderstorms around Sunday, but the bulk of the rain is going to be south of us. Showers and thunderstorms tick back up Monday, and then daily chances of rain and thunderstorms right on through the entirety of next week. That's the Electra latest 7-day forecast. We'll be here watching the radar this evening, and I'll be back at 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock with another check of your local weather.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.